All right, what's up, guys? Connor Ferguson here with Eric Bridger. New episode of the Always Race Day podcast. Got a bunch of stuff to get into, some silly season news already in 2026 on the sprint car side of things. Schedule news. We'll talk late models, plenty of late models. We got Bobby Pierce coming on as our guest tonight, and we're going to get right into it. Sorry for us being late. That is a joint effort by both me and Eric to be 10 minutes late, mostly because Nebraska was playing Michigan in a close basketball game. So we're going to jump into it. First, I'd like to thank Chris Weiser and the Weiser companies. I'm going to try not to talk over Eric this episode. That's our goal here. I've already done it once, so checkmate on that. But, yeah, we'll get into everything here in just a second. We'll play the theme song, and we'll get rolling. All right, Eric. What's up, buddy? How are you?
It's going. Yeah, I was watching that game myself too, watching the end of it, and I figured you might have been too because you had sent me the link till about 5 minutes after. But then I realized one of my laptops was dead, so I just scrambled to see if I get this one to work, and luckily we're up and rocking and rolling.
You're a two-laptop guy as a sprint car guy. Very impressive.
Yeah, and they called iPads too.
And you're sitting in your personal home theater there in your movie chair. I can see it clearly. Made of money, Eric Bridger is.
Yeah, I don't know about
that. Good run for Illinois.
Yeah, basketball. Good game Saturday. I think as a fan, this is probably one of the best, if not the best, regular season game that I've watched in my lifetime. That was a pretty impressive showing, and to have someone drop 46 points on the road and at Mackey Arena, I mean, that's just
doesn't seem like the hardest place to play.
I don't know. Between both of our teams, it seems like it's a pretty easy thing to place at, but everybody else just seems
Nick Yeoman, if you're watching, I apologize, buddy. Love you. He's a big Purdue guy, IndyCar guy.
Yeah. Well, gotta have those IndyCar guys.
We'll get into the dirt stuff in a second here. Eric, so the radio station I work for, that's the shirt I've got on. I got to send the link to Bob. God, I do bad with when we start the show.
When's the Always Race Day radio show merch going to happen?
We got to get that rolling.
Yeah.
You're
one at a time. One at a time.
Yeah. Well, I just want my logo on shirts. And then after that, maybe we'll do a radio show. I don't know if we'll have a radio show separate logo or anything. Yeah. But yeah, we're in the works with all that stuff. We're gonna get it figured out here. But Sean today was bragging about his connections in Champaign. He wants to go to the Illinois-Iowa game next year. I was gonna ask if you want to go. I'll cheer for the Illini with you. We got to make a big deal about it.
You know, I think the person I've been talking to, she's a big Iowa fan and went to Iowa. So, yeah.
Okay, so I have to be like the third guy in here, or am I just not invited? I think I've uninvited myself.
Well, we'll make it work.
Beautiful.
I do have connections. I can probably get you some parking passes and find you some decent tickets. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out to the Big Ten, waiting until like the last possible second to send out the schedule. Like, what are we doing here?
I mean, yes, they have the schedule release show we watched today on the air. We didn't know it was going to be a show.
Yeah,
that was a bit ridiculous.
It was. Could have been an email.
We don't need that for. I get what they're doing. If I was like on the league's TV network, I'd be trying to do the same thing. If you guys got any questions for us, probably more importantly, any questions or comments for Bobby, put them in the comments, and we will read them, especially if they're funny, and not if they're demeaning. Did I use that right? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah,
positive vibes only.
You got anything to say? Because I'm sure he'll have fun with it. All right, Aaron Reutzel wins the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic down in Australia for, is it Luch Monty?
That sounds right.
I've only ever read his name. I've never listened to somebody else say it, so I apologize if I butchered that. He becomes 8-time champion as a car owner with the likes of Danny Lasowski, Donnie Schatz, James McFadden, and I definitely missed one there, so I apologize to whoever that was. But what do you think of that result? And I thought Aaron on camera was great afterwards for a guy that he hates doing interviews, and we're lucky enough that he never really turns us down. And it's so entertaining anytime you get a microphone in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, that's one guy that definitely isn't afraid to speak his mind on the interview, which I think you kind of need that nowadays. But yeah, I mean, that's impressive win. I mean, for him to come back from injury last year and never seem like he stepped off his pace, I'm sure that was a step in confidence for him for 2026 to get off with probably the second biggest race in Australia now, since the high limit has that one race at the end of the year.
They say theirs is 100,000 to win, and
yeah,
they it up a little bit, so it was 100,000 Australian. Does the Classic not pay 100? No,
I don't know what it pays, but I mean, it's still a big race. I'm not trying to take anything away from the Classic.
And I think it still is like the biggest on.
I think it is too. Yeah, I mean, it's been around a lot longer than the high limit has, for sure.
Yeah, and aside from it, like just the way that race went with the top five all kind of getting into a wreck just by the happenstance of the cars in front of them. I thought it was incredibly dramatic for it to be their biggest race of the year. I did not watch it live. I apologize. I'm getting old. I need to. But that's one of my New Year's resolutions is get in really good shape and just don't miss any of these stupid late or early races, F1 included. I'm gonna be up trying to live tweet F1 just because. Not live tweets what we do for dirt racing. I'll probably just give commentary on how much it sucks if we're really being honest. But I'll throw the PS5 up, and Josh says, shout out to Josh Betts, who he tunes in all the time. He says, Connor, you aren't getting old. You're young yet. And that's just because I'm younger than Josh. That's the only reason he's saying that. But yeah, I am working on it. Just did not make it up for that one. I tried. Eric, personal thing here. Did I tell you I overslept work? I think I woke up at 11:53. I was supposed to be there by noon.
I was about to say, don't you have the afternoon shift on the radio?
Yeah, it was last Friday. I wasn't drunk the night before. I promise. I wasn't. I think I was up till 2:00, but I was in bed at 11. Just sometimes I just lay there. I don't go to sleep. I try to have the TV on when I go to bed. I don't know why. I do better when there's sounds and stuff going and it's not just complete
just
noiselessness.
To throw on some Jeff Gordon race win races from the
Dude, I'll be up and cheering. I will be up and cheering. Yeah, that's a terrible idea. Probably one of your worst, if we're being honest.
Fine, I'll find you a snoozer NASCAR race to throw on there and have you sleep through it.
Yeah, give me God, who would be? Give me Ross Chastain best interview highlights. That might do it.
Ryan Blaney.
Dude, Ryan Blaney's funny. I think Ryan's a character.
But he could put you asleep just by the tone of his voice.
Yeah, he could. All right, James McFadden did a shoey after winning one of the prelim nights at the Classic. Would you ever do a shoey after a race? What would the price be that someone would have to pay you to do one?
I'd be afraid I'd be sucking in a bunch of dirt for my shoe because.
What do you think the fans do? We've been talking about it on the radio all week during your beer.
I don't know. But you got chunks of mud in my shoes at least. I think he dumps his shoe. I think he dumps his shoe out a little bit though before he.
I think that's fair. I think you are allowed to clean out the shoe.
Yeah.
Beforehand.
Because you don't know.
Ask Bobby. I'm gonna. This on the list for Bobby too.
Yeah. I don't know. I would say. I probably would save that for a big race. If you won the Eldora, Kings Royal or
Or the Eldora truck race. We're going to talk about
Eldora
that.
truck race that we don't have anymore. Yeah, I'm really curious. I forgot Bobby raced in that, and he finished second or third one year, or both 2 years.
He should have won both years.
Yeah, I mean I bet you he misses that, and I could have missed that too. It's kind of like the NASCAR Daytona race coming up with the trucks. You get on a Friday night, you're going to get for like drivers that haven't raced a NASCAR race in years racing on a Friday night. I mean, that's some must-see TV right there.
Absolutely. Let's keep going because
Yep.
Bobby's gonna be on at some point here. That's a quick one. I'm sorry. I'm jumping through which ones I want to do first and second. Dennis Gainey Racing, DGRD, Dennis Gainey Racing Designs has parted ways with Caleb Johnson. It sounds like it was due to Caleb leaving the team. They didn't go south to Florida for the early part of this season. There's a little bit of hiccup in their plans. Dennis posted, due to some personal matters involving the team owner, there was a necessary shift in our race schedule. As a result, we would not be able to complete the originally planned 100 nights of racing. An updated plan and revised schedule were already in the works, and this information was clearly communicated to Caleb. At this time, the team is fully prepared from an equipment standpoint. We have multiple race cars ready, lettered, and mule lettered, along with a freshly wrapped trailer promoting Caleb's longtime partners. Despite this, Caleb made the decision to step away from the team. Caleb's statement says, as of today, Caleb has parted ways with DGRD. What was originally planned as our first race week of the year has now shifted to actively seeking a ride for 2026. Grateful for the time, dedication, and memory shared with DGRD over the past 2 seasons. Thanks to everyone who supported Caleb throughout this chapter. We're looking forward to hopefully sharing an update soon. So Caleb basically left the team. There's now an open seat there. Do you have any thoughts on this, Caleb? And we'll bring Bobby in real quick right after this.
You forgot the most important part. It said the DGGRT post said you must like purple. So
yeah, it said
like
you have to like purple.
Yeah. So the car must be purple. The trailer must be purple. Interesting situation for sure. I mean, it sounds like they weren't able to do the 100 races as planned, but probably like a smaller schedule. I don't know if that's like 60 or 80 races, but for how many rides are not out there right now at the moment, I feel like that's I don't know, it's interesting, but I think this might be one of those posts that actually aren't mutual, a non-mutual parted ways. So
who left on who? What's your
sounds like Caleb left on Dennis. That's what it sounds like. I mean,
yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
Whereas like everybody else, like, oh yeah, we split mutual ways. But I mean, I'm sure there's reasonings for both sides, and it's kind of odd to see a silly season move happen already, but it did. So hopefully both ways, both parties can find what they're looking for.
It's unpredictable. This sport.
It is.
Dirt racing, sprint car racing, whatever you want to call it. All right, I'm going to hit the theme song. Okay. We're going to bring Bobby in. We're going to see if we can make it seamless. And Bobby's going to have no idea. So I don't think he listens to our show, but we're going to try our best here. All right. All right, there we go. What's up, Bobby?
How's it going, man? I'm good.
Oh, this is Bobby's clear as day. We can hear him perfectly. Eric, very blurry still.
I know. Backup laptop. What can you do?
It's all good. Bobby, how are you? How are you doing? How's everything post Volusia? Well, post and pre Volusia, but how's everything going?
It's cold. I'm back home, so freezing my ass off. But hey, we're home, so I'm glad to be home. Slept in my bed the other night, and it's a great feeling because I've been gone for let's see, we left. It's been like 3 weeks, I guess, or so, because Arizona was a week and a half, and then we went to something almost like 3 weeks. But the guys just got back tonight too, so I just got back from the shop. We were unloading the cars and spare motor and all that stuff out of the trailer. So got that stuff back in the shop, and gonna be ready to do some work and see if we can make these race cars a little faster for when we go back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, thanks again for taking the time. I really appreciate it, and I know Eric does as well. I promised people I wouldn't stay off the tough questions, and one of my buddies has got one. He says, this is from Jimmy from Mrs. Rogers' third grade class over at Southeast Polk. It says, have you considered trimming off your quarter panels to make your dirty sliders work a little better?
I don't know, because then the bumper's right there too. So probably a little flimsy sheet metal or plastic's better than a tubing.
Fair. Okay, so obviously a couple run-ins in your first 9 race nights of the year. I think it's 9.
3 practice nights and 9 race nights. So yeah, we've hit the track 12 times so far this year.
I want to ask you more about Hudson and that kind of battle. I don't want to call it a rivalry. I don't want to label things that aren't there. The Hedgecock stuff, I feel like you've kind of spoken for, and that's out there. But yeah, what's up with you and Hudson O'Neill right now? What do you think? And I know you guys are friends and good competitors and all that. So.
Oh yeah. I think Hudson is probably an elite driver with any of the late model guys you can talk about, JD or Thornton or Moran or Hoffman and Gustin and T-Mac and all them guys. I think he's right there with all of them, and I feel makes us feel good that we're racing with the best in Arizona and Florida and all them races. Those 9 races. I think besides that first night in Arizona, we were a little off that very first night, but after that, we were right there in contention for podiums and top 5s and stuff like that. The one night at Volusia, if you don't qualify good at Volusia, you kind of got to battle through the night. But yeah, just all the tough racing that we did over these last 9 races, a lot of them was with Hudson. He was really fast in Arizona. So we were kind of racing a lot for the lead, or if it wasn't for the lead, second, third place, or, we'd start front row of a heat race. So I feel like anytime you get 2 drivers that are super competitive and aggressive and you race, side by side, something's got to give here and there. But, I think the last night in Arizona, I was going for it. He's going for it. When I got to watch the replay, I was like, man, I probably could have gave him a little more grace there in that moment. But, you can't, it's not a video game. You can't hit pause and restart and run your night over again. If we could, then I wouldn't lose any race I competed in. But no, it's all good. Volusia, we made a little contact on the back stretch, and then we made a little contact in one, but we're cool. And we realize we're just racing hard, and I just, beginning of the season, it sucks to have, so many just incidents, but we'll get through it, get through the year, and keep our nose clean the rest of the year and see what we got. And then Hedgecock deal, that was, a B main, racing for second and a B main, but I don't want to get too much into that. But my buttons got pushed a little bit, and that's what happened. But we're all good there too. So we'll just go on to the next race, forget about it, and race on and race hard.
How nice is it? And I know you kind of have to be like this in the sport. And Eric's the best 305 driver Knoxville Raceway has ever seen, just to give you some of his background. So he's going to know what I'm talking about here. But to have, battles like that where you can get off the track and say, hey, we were racing hard. Sorry. Appreciate it. And just go on with your week for most guys in the field. I know there's a few that may not be the case, but how nice is it to have, just it's good, hard racing, and, sometimes push is going to come to shove, but most of the time you can come out of it and still be good.
Well, I'd like to say it's that easy, but it is, and it's not. I mean, I feel like whenever it can be any situation, if you win, it's easy to forget about and move on. If you don't win the race, it's easy to stew on it and put something in the back of your mind for the next time, right? That sort of thing. But, someone once said, I feel like it was Jimmy Owens. And I think this is a quote that someone said that it was Jimmy Owens, and said something like, as a race car driver, you got to do your best. If someone rubs your fender, you got to go down the straightaway. And by the time you get to that next corner, you better forget about it and just race on, and do your best at that. But sometimes it's hard to do. And, I feel like how fast we're going these days and how competitive the sport is, it's tough to not be aggressive, because, how many times you see races where the car that isn't aggressive enough, he ends up not winning the race. And if he just was a little pinch more aggressive, he probably would have won. So it's tough, but you got to choose your battles. And, we got a long year ahead of us. So hopefully we can, go and win a bunch of races and, see what happens.
Hey, Bobby, like you kind of said, you have a long season ahead of you. So I was wondering, late models really don't seem like they have an off season anymore.
Yeah.
Is there a certain point in time where you decide you have to start playing on next year? Is that like July 1st of the calendar year, or is that a little bit more later on into the year where you start thinking about what you're going to do for the next season?
Oh, man. Yeah, you said it right. We really don't get much of an off season, but that little stretch from November till the Dome is like a little bit of a break, but we're kind of getting ready for the Dome. And throughout the year, especially towards the end of the year, you're starting to think of the next season, but you're always racing while you're thinking of it. So you're kind of multitasking a lot. And then, we leave at the 1st of January for Arizona, went straight from there to Florida. That's a long haul there and there. And then we went back home now, and in 2 weeks we're back in Florida. So this isn't an off season either. We're really just rebuilding stuff that we tore up during that little stretch, and then rebuilt and build another car to go out there. And when we get back from that, if we don't go to Lucas races, which I don't think I plan to, that's like a little bit of another break. But yeah, we never get true off seasons. They're more so just little breaks. It's kind of like a bunch of half times thrown in to a full game that never ends.
Yeah. Bobby, you talk about the Wild West shootout, and I'm not trying to disparage it. I'm not trying to encourage teams not to go there. But it seems tough to get so many teams that they do, and they do get teams down there. And one, are you paid extra to go? And if you don't want to comment on that, you don't have to. But how do they get so many big names to tow all the way down there and then tow right back to Florida very quickly for about a month of almost nonstop racing to kick off the year?
Yeah. Well, I mean, as much as the drivers and teams kind of somewhat complain about it, you still see us doing it, right? And I think it's because we don't want to fall behind. So if there's a race going on and we think we can go to it, if it's going to benefit us, we're going to go do it most of the time. Doesn't mean we're always the most prepared and we want to go to it. But like I said, we don't want to fall behind, and we want to stay on top of things and try to constantly evolve our cars and learn the setup and stuff. But I don't get paid any extra to go out there. I don't know if other drivers might, but
I'll never be able to nail down if they are doing that unless someone says it publicly. That's always the fun internet rumor.
But the thing is, though, like, I have a lot of sponsors that are based in that area. So I feel like a lot of guys
helps you out a little bit.
Yeah. So like Mike Marler, I know he's sponsored by Massey Valley Transportation. I can't remember. I can't think of all who else went out there, but I'm not sure if other drivers might have some sponsors out that direction. But, Rio Grande Waste Services, they're on the nose of my car. That's they were based out of Phoenix, and now they're kind of in the Las Cruces area. But then I have Massey Valley Transportation. He's out there. So it kind of mix of sponsors and stuff. It's kind of beneficial for me to go out there and see them and hang out, and you kind of get a feel for your car, and you can kind of maybe try some things. I feel like on a couple of them nights we were trying some things just because it's not points, but it still pays pretty good. Like at least for me, I won that last night and I made $23,000 in lap money plus the winnings of the race. So now if I wouldn't have won that, it probably wouldn't have been a very beneficial trip. But
well, if you would have spun Hudson O'Neal out one more time, you probably could have made a lot more money.
Right. Yeah. I mean, heck, I already flattened his tire the one night earlier in the week. And, just lots of hard racing out there. And those dang bumpers just stick out there so freaking far. But that's just, we can look back at it now and laugh about it. In the moment, it's like, damn it. You don't want any of that to happen. But lots of hard racing out there. That track was lightning fast. I mean, that track almost felt faster than Volusia. And it was more demanding on motors, more demanding on the car. Like we saw, I don't know how many mufflers fall off that weekend compared to Vado. Never saw any mufflers really fall off much at Vado. So I think the track, and they did a great job with the track prep there in the Arizona track, just saying it was a very fast track, had some banking to it in the corners and just on the gas. The video does not do that track justice of how big and fast it was unless you were there driving the car. And things happened really fast. And we got to Volusia, and I kind of thought it helped me out for Volusia, but Volusia was a completely different racetrack. They had it glass smooth, top to bottom. Arizona.
Yeah, their surface got way different this year.
Oh, yeah, way different. Like the Arizona surface, it killed the tires in like 10 laps, whereas the Volusia surface, the winner of Saturday night, the 50-lapper stayed on twos, which is the softest compound, and it didn't even hurt them. So it's just crazy how we can go from that to that, and it kind of threw us a curveball and had to really set up the car a lot differently for Volusia. But
yeah. Lately, have you been pretty much on the Outlaw Tour for the season? Is there every year, do you kind of just check in to see what Lucas Oil has for offerings on the tour, or do you usually just kind of have a plan and stick with the Outlaws, or maybe possibly just kind of do your pick and choose on schedule, deciding on what you want to do for the upcoming year?
Yeah, I always look at it.
Yeah.
I feel like this year, heading into it, I kind of was in the mindset like, man, I just want to go and win another Outlaw championship and see if I can win 3 championships, because in my opinion, I should already have 3. Connor knows all about that, and I'm sure you too. And but so I just want to go get that 3rd championship. And I don't know, sometimes it's tough to kind of, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like I've made a lot of won a lot of races, made a lot of money in the last couple of years running the Outlaws, and then hitting the big Lucas races when I can. So it's kind of hard to just stop doing that. But
yeah, if the well's still pumping oil, you might as well go keep on draining it. So
that's what I'd say to Eric, but he stopped racing 305s.
Well, it's a little bit different than big time late model racing.
I got you. I did want to ask you. So you said during the Central Arizona races, the Wild West Shootout, I should just call it. You said you were kind of waiting for Volusia to break out the more run-in engine, not run-in, I should say, and I don't want to call it better, but a different engine for Volusia. How'd it run? What do you think of it? And still no wins at Volusia. What the fuck?
Yeah,
my friend said I won't say that to you. And I told him I would. So
I know. No, yeah, it was good.
He's a hater.
Yeah, but yeah, we so in Arizona, like typically most late model teams run like a 430, 438, 440 cubic inch engine, 450. That's kind of like the common thing nowadays. Then you get to your really big tracks. A lot of teams still will run that, and those engines can run about anywhere. But if you just want like a little bit more power, and really sometimes you're able to use it during qualifying, but that could mean the difference of starting front row or second row. So like I had a 480 out there at Volusia, a brand new one, and it ran good. Just kind of working out through the car. And like I said, that track, this is the 3rd time they've changed the dirt in the last like 5 times out there. Like when I was out there in 2021, this was in my Pierce car, and I won. I think I won a couple nights of the Dirt Car Nationals, and that track back then in 2021, it had a big old cushion around the top side, and me and Devin Moran were going at it like every night, and it was an awesome race. And then I think it was the next year or 2 years after that, they changed the dirt, and it was this really sandy, kind of crappy dirt, to be honest. The track got rough. And then now this year they've got dirt on it that I guess it's out of the bottom of a lake. And typically when you get dirt that's from the bottom of a lake, it does what it does. It doesn't hurt tires if it doesn't have grit in it, which this doesn't have any grit. So it didn't hurt tires, and the slick spots were super slick. And it just very different. You know, as dirt late model drivers, you always hear us talk about the dirt, and you're probably thinking like, oh, does it really mean that much? And it does. You know, it means everything from the feel of the car, the setup, and
I think it means a lot more in late model racing than it does in sprint cars. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the sprint car guys, they're probably burning their tires down regardless. And I think compounds, I'm not too sure on their rules, but I think like with us, we have a lot of different choices. At least at Volusia we did. You know, we could run a 2, 3, or a 4, and you know, we went out there with some 4s, right? And heck, that wasn't even thought about. And then I ran a 3 on the right rear every night. Well, heck, the first 2 nights was 1 on a 3, but you had guys running 2nd and 3rd on a 2. And then the last night, you know, T-Mac and Shepard, they were 1st and 2nd, and they had on the softest compound, which is kind of just most of the time that's just completely unheard of in a 50-lap race on a half mile to go with the softest compound. So that just goes to show how much that dirt is different than anything we race on. So it's kind of it's just hard to get a hang on it. And if you don't qualify good and win your heat race, and it's really tough if you're not really dominant, or if something, you know, T-Mac, he kind of gambled, went going on that too, and it worked out for him. So
you mentioned that the dirt came from the bottom of the lake. Where's the craziest place you've heard that people have gotten dirt? I guess I'm kind of, this is a really open book answer or open book
from the moon.
Yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, though, just thinking, I know some tracks have hauled in dirt from multiple states away. You know, you think about some tracks in the South, I can't remember where, but I know there's places where they'll be like, yeah, we hauled this dirt from Minnesota. And it's like, damn, like, you know, whatever it takes to get good dirt, I guess.
Every driver has their favorite stretch of races on the schedule. Is it for you? Is it kind of around home in Illinois, or is there somewhere that you like that somebody didn't think that you can enjoy the racetracks or the race schedule?
I like going around all the different places, honestly, but sometimes it gets old when we have to travel a lot, like the long hours, you know, those 8-hour trips, those 10-hour trips. And when you're doing that back-to-back week, it's like, man, I'd like to just race around home for a couple weeks for a change. Yeah. But, I mean, where I'm based out of, you know, I'm in Illinois, and we've got a lot of good tracks around here. And with the schedule, I feel like we got a good headquarters right here. The races are either north, south, east, or west of us. Like, a lot of times I'm coming back through from a weekend, we get to go home. And then the next weekend, like say we'll be in the east, and then the next weekend's in the west. So, okay, well, we come home through the week, and then we're home for 2 days or whatever, and then go there. And then the next weekend might be back out in the east. So same thing. We kind of just stop and, you know, stock back up on everything and wash our stuff. And it's a pretty good spot most of the time anyways. But right now I feel like the hardest part of the schedule for me too is this part of the year where we're not based in the South. So we're having to winterize our truck, de-winterize our truck, winterize our truck, de-winterize our truck, which is why I want to build a shop someday here soon where I can put my truck inside of it. But, you know, the unloading the cars, like I mentioned, in the freezing cold, like that's a pain in the ass. But that summer portion of the schedule, I feel like it fits us a lot better because we're kind of more in that north region, you know, the Iowas and Minnesotas, those type of tracks. So, but I don't know. I like all racetracks when I'm winning at them.
Maybe a couple more dirt late model dream races will be able to get you a shot one day.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You had me in the first half with every race is north, south, east, or west from us because kind of, yeah, geographically they have to be, right?
Well, I mean, hey, you could be based out of like Florida, and then you're traveling north or west.
Yeah, I suppose everything.
Or you could be based out of like I mean, really, if you're in like, let's say, Indiana is like a pretty good spot because that's pretty central, and I'm basically in Indiana.
Of where stop there, you're going to end up racing USAC.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Man, Indiana needs some late model races, more late model races. I'll say that.
They got some good racetracks.
Talk about that. Go ahead, talk about that. I want more races at Kokomo. That's my favorite track on the video game.
Yeah, I like Kokomo. I mean,
very nice to drive.
I don't love Kokomo, but I like Kokomo. Man, where else in Indiana?
Everybody asks you where your favorite track is at. I want to ask you, where's the worst place to house a late model team?
California.
Okay. Montana? Better than Montana?
Yeah, Montana. I mean, realistically speaking, probably like I don't know, like New York or something.
We can do worst place that like actually has late model teams.
But anywhere where you got to go, you got to travel across the mountains, back and forth. Like, I know, for example, when we went and raced up in like State Line, which is a track up there in New York. Maybe it was just the direction we went, but we were going through some hell of mountains and hills, and the truck was barely making it up, some of them. And I was just thinking, man, if I had to base my race team out of over here, I would always just be gone and never come back because, I don't know, going through the mountains in a big rig, it's a challenge.
Go for it, Eric.
Is there, I don't know if you eat food before the races or not. Is there a racetrack that has the best food out of all of them?
Man, Votto.
Really?
I miss Votto.
Yeah.
Votto had really good racetrack food. Their concession was good, but man, I know there's got to be some other places. I'm gonna hold this to Eldora. I feel like Eldora needs to revamp their menu a little bit. Like, the pizza burger is good and everything, but if we could get a little more, like, it'd be nice to have like quesadillas or something. I always like it when a racetrack has quesadillas. Yeah.
Get the food truck out there.
How many racetracks have quesadillas?
When I was in New Zealand, they had them.
Okay, all right, that's where it's from.
Votto had quesadillas. And I know there was somewhere else. Oh, we were at Arrowhead. Arrowhead had some good food because, well, they had food trucks there. I will say Wheatland, Missouri, for the Show Me 100. They've typically got some food trucks.
What was it was Ultimate RV and Sports Park that I saw you at, that they had food trucks, yeah?
Man, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know if I.
It was in Nebraska.
Oh, Nebraska. Are you thinking of that off-road?
I am thinking of off-road. Did they change the name, or am I brain farting?
I think it's still Off-Road Raceway.
It might still be off-road. I don't know. I type in the schedules every year, and it just.
Speaking of Nebraska and racetracks, I-80 Speedway. That
I know.
I miss I-80.
RIP.
Yeah.
And I tell you, the only weekend of racing I went there was the last weekend they were in service.
Oh.
Well, I'll never do it again. It was a once in a while. I don't want to do it again because I discovered this place and I was like, this is a really cool spot. Like that. Now it's gone. So.
Do you think the Silver Dollar Nationals has their permanent home now going forward at Shelby County?
Yep. I like that track a lot, and I mean, look, we've had one race there, right? It was a Lucas race last year, and it was a hell of a race, and I won it, so I'll say it's a hell of a race. But it really was a good race. If you go back and watch the replay of that, so I feel like they have high expectations, so hopefully they can meet that because I feel like a lot of people have a lot of hype for that race and that event. So I'll be there, and
hopefully facilities wise they're
this year.
Yeah, hopefully facility wise they're ready for it, because I know it's a little bit different hosting one race versus the whole weekend. So but I think it has potential than what Hughes has. I just think Hughes just isn't a very good like late model track. So unfortunately, nice facilities.
The fan base around there is sprint cars, and the racetrack was okay, but it was a little too narrow for the late models to put on. Like, I was always telling people when I was there, like, the potential that Hughes had to be a good late model track was there. They just needed to let us race from inside wall to outside wall. A little too narrow. So
cut that berm down a little bit.
Yeah.
You did tell me around that race, like your favorite track in the country is Knoxville Raceway. I think that's what you said.
I do like Knoxville. I didn't like it quite as much this year because we had some bad luck last year. You know, my what was it? The power steering. The power steering.
Yeah, you went out like 30 laps in, yeah?
Yeah. The hose just blew out, which I've never seen that happen before. But that berm on the inside, man, it was it's rough.
Gnarly.
Yeah, it was gnarly for sure. Yeah. Hudson won that race on the berm, on the inside berm.
Guy.
He was hauling the mail.
Heck yeah. See, obviously you won 2 championships. We saw you lose a championship, for better or worse. How difficult is it? Just like people give me, an aspect of going to win those 2 titles that you've won. What stuck out to you? What was the hardest thing that you had to overcome in each of those 2 years separately?
Man, make me think now, but
I'm sorry. Yeah, I try to make these fun. I wasted the fun one. We got some more fun ones coming up.
The first year I won the Outlaws Championship. And that's what you're asking about, the Outlaws Championship?
Yeah.
Well, that first year, obviously it was the first year I ran with Outlaws and decided to do a whole year. Really, it was the first year that I ever ran a national tour from start to finish. Back in 2013, I was 16 years old, and I committed to run the Lucas Series that year, and I ran it until like June and dropped off and ran the Summer Nationals and stuff. So then flash forward to 2023, we run the Summer Nationals. A lot of people were saying, we'll see if Pierce runs it all. He'll probably drop off in the summer, run the Summer Nationals. And I remember Justin Fiedler, he had mentioned that, and I kind of gave him some shit for it when I won the points at the end of the year. But just going all the different places and trying to get our car good everywhere we went was a big challenge. You're not racing the same characteristic racetracks week in, week out. So that was a big challenge for me and my dad. The driving,
I saw that with you and your dad too, which was amazing to see.
Right. And
his one-liners just top notch.
Oh yeah, you need to have Bob on here.
Hey, we'll take him anytime.
But listen, like the traveling wasn't a big issue for us because we had always done that anyways. But just getting our car good enough to win a championship, that was the hard part. But I will say in that year, where were we? We were at 411, and I was hammering out some body panels and raced that night and whatever. The next morning, I think the next day we were at Talladega, and I woke up with like excruciating pain in my like right shoulder area, kind of up there by my shoulder blade. And I mean, excruciating pain. I was like, what in the heck? And I realized that I couldn't lift my arm. Like I couldn't lift my right arm. I didn't know what the heck was going on. And I had to race that night. So I raced Talladega. That was the weekend where I was leading. It was a 50,000, I think 50,000 to win. And my left rear wheel broke while in the lead. And so I was racing through like this pain. Lo and behold, it ended up being like a nerve issue, and it healed in like 3 months' time. But over those 3 months, like I couldn't do a push-up. And so I didn't know what was wrong with me. And I didn't really talk a whole lot about that, but that was just something that I was going through that year. And that's when I won the points in 2023. So that was kind of cool to, I guess I kind of fought through that, but
I sure as hell didn't hear about it.
What's that?
I said, I sure as hell didn't hear about it.
I really didn't know what was wrong with me, so I didn't really tell anybody. But
no, that's fair.
I mean,
that's great. I'm still shocked that you.
I woke up one morning and couldn't do a push-up. Like I didn't know what the heck was happening with me. But it ended up being a nerve issue. And the reason I mentioned I was hammering out the body panels the day before, I think I like messed something up and it didn't show up till the day before. And then it basically like my nerve had to heal. But anyways, that was that year. Won the points for the first time. Next year, 2024, went into it thinking everything's good. After Volusia, the tire deal happens. So our whole year was kind of crazy after that. but I still ended up having one of the best years ever. Won 38 races.
By the way, and that was one of the best years ever of any dirt racing driver I've ever seen in my career.
Yep.
Which, albeit limited, not many years prior to Bobby has those stats been acquired. There still has never been anyone that's gotten caught for tire doping that has come out and 100% admitted it. So if you would like to.
I would love to be able to. Unfortunately, I can't because I didn't do it. So.
That's the unfortunate part of the
That's the unfortunate.
That's part. The man of the people. Bobby says if he was doing it, he would.
Yep.
The simple green.
I'm sorry, I cut you off. Keep going.
But where was I? So then that was that year,
and then into 2025,
and then 2025, which was last year. I mean. Heck, nothing really. I think last year was pretty damn smooth.
TCOB?
Huh?
TCOB, take care of business.
That's right. Now this year, I mean, we got a win. We got one win. We're a little, not starting our year at Votto kind of hurts us a little bit because I really had Votto figured out. But, yeah.
This is going to make you sound not very bashful and very braggadocious, but the 6 race bonus, if you won 6 at Votto, how realistic was that to you, and how wild is it looking back? Like, oh yeah, I could win $300 extra $1,000.
Well, let's see when they got rid of it.
Did they get rid of it before last year?
Yeah,
that's my bad. That's a bad question on my part.
Okay, so last year was the last year at Votto for the Wow Shootout. I won 4 of the 5 races because one of them got rained out, but they had already done away with that. But the year before though, 2024, I had won 4 races heading into the last night. And then that was the night that Kyle Larson was catching up to me. I was in the lead. So if I would have won that last night, it would have been $100,000 bonus or 75. However it was, I would have won $100,000 that night.
I think it was 100 total.
Yeah. Because it was $25,000 to win the race, and it was 75 or $100,000 bonus if I would have.
It was 75 to win 4 nights, and like 125 or 150 to win 5, maybe.
Yeah. However it was, no, it was $25,000 to win 4. So I had locked up the bonus, but it was an extra. I think it was an extra 75 or $100,000 bonus to win 5, and so I was in the lead. So it was I blew a tire. I blew a tire in the lead. Larson was all over me, right? And we were about to have a hell of a battle, and I blew a right rear tire. So that was $100,000, at least $100,000 lost right there. Bam.
I had my drink until I'm a Bobby Pierce fan tweet. I always have them tweeted out just in case.
You sure did.
Never to jinx you, I promise.
That's right. Where did that come from?
You made a St. Patrick's.
Oh yeah, I made a shirt. Yeah.
I'm gonna go find it. I have it in my closet.
Yeah.
Eric, ask your question. I'm gonna go find it.
All right, sounds good. Hey Bobby, I was just curious if you miss racing the Summer Nationals tour, or do you, as you get a little bit older in racing, do you prefer kind of the outlaw schedule of not having so many races in 1 month or 2 months?
Man, I do miss the Summer Nationals. I'll be honest. There's nothing like the Summer Nationals. Like you get in this flow state where you don't think of anything other than racing. And it's kind of, in a way, it's poetic because although you're in the Midwest and it's, people in the South might not believe it, but yes, in the Midwest in the summertime, it gets 100 degrees. As you know, it can get blistering hot, and we're out there racing in the hottest of nights, and we're hating each other at the end of the night. Sometimes, the crew and, me and Bob would be yelling at each other, whatever. But a lot of times you have a lot of fun with Summer Nationals. It's a little more, in a sense, laid back. Not saying like the stakes aren't high, but it's just a little more laid back in a sense. And I don't know, racing all them Illinois bull rings and around the area, those tracks are so fun to race on. And I don't know, the Outlaws is fun too. I love getting to all the different states we go to and just experiencing all the different racetracks. And I like how every year there's a couple new tracks thrown into the mix. So that's exciting. And I don't know, I mean, going and winning a national championship, when you do that, it doesn't get any better. So it's a big feeling of accomplishment when you do it. But running the summer nationals is it's what I grew up doing. Sometime I'm going to have to do it again. Just, I don't know when that'll be.
Yeah. It's hard to be off from your roots and miss it sometimes.
I mean, listening to Sam Driggers and the Gyres meeting while he's smoking a ciggy and yelling at us, there's nothing like it.
All right, so we got.
Oh yeah.
So the backstory behind Drink Till You're a Bobby Pierce fan is Bobby and I was trying to figure out the sport of dirt racing and the parts of it I didn't know. And I grew up going to, I want to say like every other Knoxville Nationals, like odd year Knoxville Nationals, might have been even years. But my dad would take me up, and that's kind of all I knew about it. And we started the website during COVID, and dirt racing caught on a lot quicker, and the fans caught on a lot quicker with us. So I had to go knee deep in everything. And it was non-wing sprint car racing. I was talking to CJ Leary and talking to Jake Swanson. And I go up and talk to Bobby. And I'd talk to some sprint car guys that didn't really like talking about their NASCAR days, didn't like talking about NASCAR. And I asked Bobby about racing a truck at Eldora. And we quickly became good friends, I want to say, over the next few months. And I think like a year later, I was like comfortable enough to start chirping him a little bit. Like we were playing hockey together. And I was like, why you got a shirt that says Drink Till You're a Bobby Pierce fan? Like I got to chug 13 Busch Lights to cheer for Bobby fucking Pierce. And so that was the joke in my mind. And I loved reminding Bobby of it.
Yeah, it was kind of, now I remember, I'm pretty sure this was Abby's idea. This shirt was. I don't know. If it's not her idea, she'll get mad at me for it. But I think it was her idea. And we wanted something like St. Patrick's Day themed, right? Because you see the green on the shirt.
I'm hoping you make some more. Because this one's like larger and XL, and I put in the laundry. Before I knew how to do laundry, and I shrunk it, and it doesn't fit me anymore. So I'm going to turn that one into a cutoff or frame it.
Yeah,
I need you to make other ones before I do something with this one.
I'll tell Abby and my mom we need to bring it back. We need to revamp it, bring it back. But
I want it on the record that we tried to. They said no.
Right.
Which completely within their bounds to say no. But as long as they make some for you guys.
At the end of the day,
I'll push you guys to go buy some for Bobby.
I got the pull, so we'll see what we can do. But we wanted something for St. Patrick's Day. And with drinking on St. Patrick's Day, it's a big thing, right? So, and we're thinking kind of like a shirt for the haters, really. Like it's kind of like, okay, well, if you're not a fan of me, we'll just drink till you are one. So, and exactly that's how it came about.
Has the Dome surpassed every other big racing event as far as merch sales, or is it kind of up there with like Eldora? Yeah,
it has surpassed Eldora.
Yeah,
wow,
that's crazy. I guess this must be the right time of year.
And I think it's for every driver too. Like not just saying it's me or whatever. I think every driver that goes there, I think they sell the most there by far than anywhere else.
How was the crowd on Saturday there this year?
Oh, it was more than I've ever seen. I think, and that's what they said. I know they said it was the most, I think, attended dirt race. Let's see. I was talking to Cody Summers about this, and he was saying he was pretty sure it was the most attended dirt late model race ever, or dirt race ever. He wasn't sure about like the Bristol, when Bristol had the dirt race there. Like
I think you guys got them beat,
but he wasn't.
I don't want to say there was like a shortage of people there because they had a decent amount of people.
They did, and I don't want to put words in Cody's mouth, but I think he said something along the lines he just wasn't sure of those stats from Bristol, if like the accuracy of them, because I don't know if people really knew how many people were at Bristol, but I think
is it better if I say it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, most attended dirt race of all time for late models.
And I think he said it was the most watched. I'm pretty sure it was the most watched Flow race ever.
And this is open message to Flow, and I'll send this to the right people. I'll clip this. But please put out more stats about most watched races.
Right.
It only grows the sport.
I agree 100%.
However you want to word it. And I'm the king of manipulating stats. I love to do it. It's very funny, especially when people on the other side don't understand what you're doing. Do that as much as you can. Do it tongue in cheek. Do it seriously, however you want to do it.
Yep.
But please get it out there.
I kind of like, if I talk about the Dome to people this year so far, I kind of like bragging about how many people were watching it. Like, it's fun to brag about that more than it is to say like, oh, I went and won the Dome.
Yeah.
I like to say like, oh yeah, this race was the most. It was on Amazon. Like that's cool.
Have you tried putting on Hey Dudes before you went out for the green flag?
No, I actually don't. I don't own a pair of Hey Dudes.
I've never owned a pair of Hey Dudes.
If Hey Dudes wants to sponsor me, then yeah, I'll do it.
They don't want to sponsor the Hey Dudes guy. I think we're safe there.
Yeah.
I think okay.
Yeah.
At least until they get a new marketing person. Eric, go ahead. I'm sorry. I've cut off.
Oh no, you're fine. No, I was just about to say back to the Dome. It's very interesting to see the creativity of car designs or merch sales or T-shirts or what. And then it's nothing like going into turn one and scraping off the whole right side quarter panel of the wraps. So, but yeah, no, it's very awesome to see everybody.
Yeah, you saw Albertson. He had that throwback car, and then it was painful to watch. Like turn one of qualifying, you went in there a little too hot and just blew the whole deck out of it. I mean, legit, the whole, like people say blowing the deck out of it, he legit, the whole deck was gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've seen a late model like that rear end kind of explode like you did his going in the corner. That was interesting to see.
Bobby, we had Chase Briscoe on one of our videos during the Knoxville Nationals. Drives the 19 car in the NASCAR Cup Series, obviously. He said he thinks it's important to have a NASCAR Cup Series race on a dirt track. You are one of the kings of dirt guys going to run the truck race at Eldora. 2 races you should have won.
I heard you talking about that before I hopped on. Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad. I didn't know if guests could hear us or not when they were waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad we know that now. Awesome. Yep. We bonded over that very quickly when I first met you. But talk about your experiences there, and do you think NASCAR should bring back at least a truck series race on dirt, if not Cup Series?
I think,
and you could push them towards Knoxville if you could do that. Just flip.
Eldora's a little bit better.
I'll leave it open to you.
I think for the trucks or NASCAR, I think it's more exciting at Eldora because I don't know. I feel like Eldora, they really had to get up on the wall and get her done and win the race. But I think the trucks should go somewhere. And I'm not really even saying if it is Eldora, but the trucks should definitely go a dirt race.
And you're talking about a natural dirt track. You're not talking about Bristol dirt.
No. Like a natural dirt track. Like take them to Fairbury, but not the.
I'm shocked. Bobby Pierce would say take them to Fairbury.
Yeah,
crazy.
But not the cup cars. Not the cup cars because
not the cup cars.
I don't think so. Because in my opinion, I feel like. I don't know. I feel like there's a sense of they don't get it. Like, I feel like the trucks, everyone knows, like, okay, it's a race. It doesn't really matter. But then the cup cars, when they do it, people think it's somewhat of a joke sometimes. I feel like, I don't know. They don't take it. I don't really know the words how to describe this feeling, but like, I think the truck should. I'm
going to try to help you get there because our minds are somewhat similar. I don't want to say too similar because mine's real fucked up. But like the dirt guys will sit there and tell them. And Shane Golovic raced in that race. Scott Bloomquist, I think the last year they did Cup at Bristol dirt. God, there's a couple other ones I'm forgetting. Kyle Strickler was one, but they're like, hey, take the windshields out.
Yeah.
Like do the smart thing here. And they don't listen to any of the dirt guys.
Right.
Because they're just the dirt guys to them. And that's where the divide kind of happens. And I feel like if they listen to those guys, I think you and me would both be comfortable saying like, yeah, go take the cup cars to any dirt track, just listen to the dirt guys and go.
Yeah.
And it's just not there. But
with the trucks too, they're not as worried about getting them dirty and stuff. I feel like the cup cars and stuff, they come in and I think they're all pissed off about that they got to get their stuff dirty and they kind of feel like they're above it.
Yeah, no, they absolutely do. I got a story I got to tell you about my drunk dad yelling at the officials after Brett Moffitt was called for jumping a restart at Knoxville in the truck race there. And hold on, Brett Moffitt koozie. Always supporting my buddies. But yeah, they definitely feel like they're above it. It's really annoying because you're this global brand that has everything handed to it, and you could go to these communities in these very unique events and very short number of them and be very nice, and you're just not. And it's like, man, I don't know how they act in New York, but they don't act like that in Iowa or Oakwood, Illinois, at the very least. So
yeah, but it'd be cool though. It'd be cool to see more than like it would be cool to see the trucks come back to Eldora, but I think it would also be cool to just go put them at Fairbury and see what happens.
I'm on Team Fairbury.
Peevely, sure. Missouri, I-55.
That would be one race. So.
Eric, you got another?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, I got a couple more, Bobby.
All right.
What's your money number? Would you ever do a shoey?
Like after a win?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
When I'm pumped up.
Actually, would you ever do a shoey after finishing 6th? And what race would it be?
Man, it'd take a lot of money.
After a win.
It'd take a lot of money for me to do a shoey after I don't win a race. But after I win a race, I'm more susceptible to doing it. Or I would definitely do it for a little bit of money. Because in the moment, I'm jacked up. I'm like, heck yeah, I'll do it. But still a little bit of money. I mean, probably like.
I just got to find you after the right race with a video camera and a beer.
My shoe? Because if it's your shoe, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, it'd be your shoe. Why would it be my shoe?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying.
That'd be a weird thing to request. Like, Bob, journalist here, would you do a shoey out of my shoe?
If it's my shoe, I mean, I also got to think, well, it's my race shoe, and I don't want to, I don't know. Then again,
you can wash your race shoes.
I've jumped in a dirty, stinky pond at Cedar Lake.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was, let me tell you, that was straight up disgusting. I feel like at the bottom of that.
Was there anything gross in there? Yeah.
At the bottom of that pond, it felt like, I think the bathroom sewers dump into there. That's all I'm going to say.
Did it smell like that?
It was bad. Yes, it was bad. Instant regret. Trust me, when me and Abby were in there, instant regret. Well, not instant because at first I was an idiot.
You don't really get it. You're just.
I jumped in it, right? And then I had the bright idea. I'm going to put some in my mouth and then like shoot it up.
We've seen the photos.
After that, instant regret.
Was there aftertaste?
Yeah.
Get the mouthwash.
The suit never really washed correctly. Like I parked that suit.
All right. I know that your family, your girlfriend, wife, is it girlfriend or wife? I brain farted here.
Fiance.
Fiance.
We'll be married in 2 months.
Hell yeah. I know they don't want you to run a sprint car. Would you ever run Chili Bowl Nationals?
Yeah, I would say like more so years ago, I would say yeah. Now it's not as much, but
old thing hit you too, huh?
Well, the Wild West Shootout is always around that time, and I'm just so invested into that. And then Volusia's right after it. There's just a lot going on that time of the year. And so for me to be, if I'm going to do something, I really want to make sure I can put my focus and attention into it. So it's just kind of a tough time of the year. As we mentioned a little bit ago, we don't really have much of an off season. And so that little bit of the breaks we get, like the shop's super busy, me owning my team, like I got to make sure we're just staying on top of things, getting cars built. So it's tough to like go do that. And I don't know. I always told people like, if I'm going to do something, I'm also going to want to be really good at it. And I know the Chili Bowl is super tough. So going into it, I would have to lower my expectations for myself a little bit. But like I have drove a midget. It was at Gateway. A few years back, I drove, when they had the midgets there, and I drove Parker Price Miller's midget. Well, I don't know why I realized that. Yep, I did. So
I think I might have been in a wedding that weekend. Now that I think about it, yeah, that's the only reason I wouldn't have watched.
Wow. So I drove Parker Price Miller's midget twice. The first time was in Indy when Cody Summers did that midget race in the Bankers Life Fieldhouse where he put the track on the basketball court. And this was not a race. Like it was a kind of a failure of a race because the track was just not too big. It was too small. So I wouldn't really call that racing a midget because it just wasn't. So then the next time it was at Gateway. Well, I didn't get to practice because every time I went out there to practice, the motor wouldn't run. So they had some issues going on. They realized what was wrong the next day was that they didn't have the fuel pill in it. So that controls the amount of flow when you get on the gas. So every time I get on the gas, it would just flood it out. So I didn't get to practice. I go out there for qualifying. I'm popping fucking wheelies down the straightaway because I don't know what I'm doing. And I ended up I did pass a couple of guys that are like decent. So I was like, okay, I got better as the weekend went on, but it kind of just lowered my confidence level in it a little bit, not going to lie. But that was Gateway, and it was rougher than hell, and it was a lot. But yes, to your question, I would possibly do the Chili Bowl someday, maybe.
And then along the same line, you've told me before, so I'm going to say you can't say Stadium Super Truck. You've told me before you would like to run a Stadium Super Truck. There's one vehicle that you could pick to race that isn't a Stadium Super Truck. What would it be?
A drift car.
Oh, I like this.
I don't know what kind of car, but just, yeah.
We got to get you in contact with Alex Bowman.
Okay.
We can make that. He loves drifting and all that shit. So.
I'll shout out my buddy Joey Whitaker. I don't know if you know him. He races crates. And I was informed that he was like a major drift champion.
Was he in Formula Drift? Have you ever watched that before?
Yeah, I have watched it before. It's pretty cool. I mean, and most of the time I would say like stuff on dirt. So it's kind of surprising for me to say something that's not on dirt. But I think just because it's on my mind lately, because he was showing me pictures today, I was like, wow, that's badass. I probably like
How'd you discover it?
Drifting.
Formula Drift, but drifting.
Probably YouTube back when I was a kid, YouTube. And then I had video games, of course, where one game was called Grid. I don't know if you ever played Grid.
Yeah.
You played Grid? Yeah, had drifting on here. And then, of course, like Forzas and stuff, but I didn't really play much of them.
Well, the only reason I asked was I saw Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Ken Block on Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory. That was a huge show for me and my buddies in middle school. I think we came home from school and watched marathons of that every day.
Yep, I watched that all the time. Did you play the game Dirt or Dirt 2, Dirt 3?
Yeah, Dirt 3 is one of my favorite games of all time.
It had like the gym stuff in it.
Yeah.
No, it's fantastic stuff. Last thing, we ask everybody that comes on the show. The old question was, if you could fight one guy in the pits, who would you fight and why? You can definitely answer that if you want to, but we've moved on from that question.
I
think I know your answer.
Anyone that comes into my pit area.
Fair enough. One rule that you would change about dirt late model racing, and what you would change it to and why.
Oh man.
You pick anything from the droop, schedule. Anything to do with the sport.
One rule that I believe they did change this year. I think
that's a cop out.
I think with Outlaws they said that we can do like setup adjustments in the lineup shoot as long as we don't change tires. And because that got me last year,
they penalized you for that?
I was starting on the pole of a race at 81. This was like in the fall, so not that long ago. And my crew guy was just making sure the air pressure was like checked, because he wasn't sure if he checked it. And then they were like, "Oh yeah, you can't do that," and we didn't know that, so they put us to the tail for checking the air pressure in the lineup shoot. So now that's a rule. A change, I think, is now they said, because people do that stuff all the time. It's just a matter
of it's just if there's a guy standing there.
Yeah. So, if you're in the back of the pack, you could do that and whatever. But now I think they changed that. But let me think of anything else. Honestly, something to do with aerodynamics, I think, would have to be one of them. And
now you're sounding like Davenport.
Well, I'm not like really big on the let's change the shape of the cars and stuff, but because that just takes a lot. But I do think a lot of places we go to, the racing would be a lot better if we weren't so air dependent. And everyone will say that and probably agree on that, but I don't have the answers for it and stuff. But that's probably one of them. I mean, the engines, they're expensive and whatever. But at the end of the day, if you don't want to race a super late model, go race a crate late model. So there's options there. But I don't know. I have to think about that one.
All right, we'll tweet your answer when you text it to me. So.
For sure.
Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Leave your comments, and next time that Bobby comes on, we'll have him answer whatever questions you guys got. Bobby, stay on. We're gonna end the stream, and then I'll say hi to you and all that shit. But appreciate Chris Weiser Company is the presenting sponsor here, and you guys have a good rest of your week. Hopefully, ASCS goes at Volusia this weekend, and then we'll kind of be into the season. So happy race day, everyone. See ya.